So, Budi, how was COP29?
Well,
What's your assessment?
well, that was very interesting COP for us as Franciscan International, Blair, because we had our partners coming, and also we were working also with our network. And after the 2 week process, when I spoke with the colleagues, either the human rights colleagues or colleagues coming from the ground, the general assessment is that COP29 has been a disappointing process. There are several reasons why they are disappointed. One of the first reasons is that despite the intense negotiations during COP29, people and also states coming from, especially states that are affected by climate change, do not feel that their concerns has been responded by the final agreement.
Okay.
That is a very clear feeling that they have. And apart from that, we have to understand as well that COP is becoming more and more space in which the corporate and lobbyists are very much present. There was an estimation of around at least 1,700 fossil fuel lobbyists presence in COP29. And it is disappointing because these lobbyists, they are really trying to advance their agenda within the multilateral forum like that. And this is also to show that the corporate capture has taken place in several UN processes, including COP29. And of course, one of the key concerns of us as the civil society is the fact that the space of civil society is very much limited during COP29. And it has been a tendency in the last 3 COPs, COP 27, 28, and 29 now. There was no possibility of, for example, doing protest or doing march outside the COP compound. So this is also a proof that there is a limitation of freedom of expressions. And apart from that, some of the environmental activists, climate activists, has been arrested prior to COP or during the COP processes. So it's there's a kind of atmosphere of disappointment after COP29 in general.
And what about climate finance? I know there were high hopes.
Yeah, exactly, because people or the general understanding about COP29 as finance COP, in which there was an expectations of scaling up the expectations on the commitment coming from from the developed countries in addressing climate crisis. As we know that in the last 15 years, the target was to have 100 billion US dollar to address the climate crisis, but only in 2022 that was the 100 billion dollar was collected. And knowing that the number or the needs to increase the amount of finance has been really increasing a lot. And the biggest disappointment is exactly on the issue of the finance, because with the new not new mechanism, but with the new collective quantified goal, one of the key piece of agreement that was discussed in COP 29 failed to increase significantly the need or the commitment to address the climate crisis. So the need is around 1 trillion or more than 1 trillion, but the commitment agreed in COP29 was merely around 300 billion, 3 times more than the previous commitment. So this is really a disappointment. And as a result of this disappointing decision, several states, especially the least developed countries that are very much affected by climate change, as well as the association or the alliance of small island states, they walked out during the final plenary because they were so much disappointed. And of course, the civil society is also very much disappointed on this agreement, because once again, this is to show that the developed states, in which they are the main polluters, they are the one that historically and currently contribute to the climate change. They still feel that they are not responsible, or their responsibility is not assumed sufficiently according to what we want. So that climate finance that was supposed to be the highlight, in fact, it's a big flop from our perspective.
Mm. And that, of course, relates to the non-economic loss and damage.
Exactly. Loss and damage in which we, as Franciscans International, we work on the non-economic elements of that, because we cannot just count only those who can be monetized or can be measured with monetary measures, but also the life of people, the culture, the livelihood. They are very important. And even for us, this is one of the issue that we think is the key issues for many people coming from those vulnerable, the climate vulnerable states in which we are working on. And the disappointments are a bit in different layers. So the first layer is that although the fund for responding fund for responding loss and damage has been operationalized, is operational now, but the commitment is still very low. So the states, they provided the commitment of around 730 billion, while the need is trillion. And from that 730 billion, less than 100 million or even less than 50 million that has been realized in the real financial support. So this is really a small fractions, and from that small fractions, it's not enough to respond the urgency of the small states that are affected by climate change. So it's a bit disappointment from our side as well.
Yeah. So what would your key messages, the most important priorities, be from COP29?
I think as NGO, as people's organizations, as Franciscans, we need to continue demanding the accountability. I think this accountability issue is very, very important. The accountability should be addressed to the states that contribute the most to climate change. And it is very important that these states should take the responsibility. They should be accountable, but at the same time, the accountability of the corporates. As we know that the fossil fuel industry has tremendously negatively contributed to climate change, and the fossil fuel industry has not been taken, has not been accounted in their actions. So one of the issues that we also are very much concerned, the fact is that in Dubai, there was a decision of transition away from fossil fuel, but this transition away has not been translated concretely into actions. Of course, as civil society, we would like to emphasize the importance of phase out completely from fossil fuel, but the agreement was to transition away or to phase down. That's about the language. Sometimes we are really lost in the language, but I think it's quite important to see that even on that very key issue for fossil fuel, COP29 has not been successful in delivering the concrete actions for us to really transition away from the fossil fuels. Another message for us is that I think we need to stop these exploitations of our common home. No? The exploitations of our planet, of Mother Earth, has continued, and I think there is something wrong with the system that we are adopting, be it the economic system, development system. There should be a questions again on what is the root causes of all the negative things that we are experiencing now. I think it's very important for us to address the root causes instead of trying to solve the problems here and there. And sometimes we do feel that the solutions offered to us is a false solution. It's not the real solutions, because we collectively as international community fail to address the root causes, the need to really change our economic system, development system, our way of life into something that is really not only focusing on us as human being, but focusing on us and also on other beings, other creations, or other things, you know? Because this is a common home for everyone, for all the creations, for all the living being or non-living being, and it's us who destroy. So we have to do something to change that.
So what can we look forward to at COP30 and what may be achieved there?
Yeah, COP30 will be the first time in a few years to be organized in a place in which we might have better possibility for people to be engaged in the COP process. So there are many hopes. First, our hope as civil society is to have better space for the civil society to be part of these COP processes. And also to provide some solutions, some concrete examples coming from the people on how to address the climate change. But we also hope that some of the pending discussions or let's say some of the failure from COP29 to be addressed successfully in COP30. This can include the fact that the low ambitions that we have from COP29 should be revisited, should be increased again. Once again, sorry to say that I didn't mention that. Even now, some developing states are thinking that this climate finance should not only be grants but also loan. Just you can imagine this: the developing states, they are already caught in loans for development, and now to address the climate change that they do not cause, the developed states think about providing loan financial services to the money that they provided. So I think in COP30 this kind of issue has to be addressed. And I would like also the COP30 to address the issue of false solutions, because there are so many false solutions proposed. Just transition, for example, just to give you an example. Just transition in terms of how to make a transition from the fossil fuel to more friendly energy often do not take into account what does it mean for the indigenous people who are impacted because of the extractions of critical mining, for example. They take the nickel, lithium, on different things coming from the indigenous community territory without their consent. And this so-called critical mining is used for greener energy, for just transition. So it's not the solution, because it might appear as a solution for some people, but for the affected communities, it's not a solution. This is not what they expect, that they are victimized in this process. So I think it has to be addressed as well. And I think we need also to work together as people to people, to dialogue, to share good practices, to share experiences among us. Because I guess the solutions should not only be expected from the COP processes. COP is important, indeed. We need to observe the discussion, the negotiations, but at the same time, we need also to find the solutions coming from the people, because it's the people who has the power. It's the people who have the experience, and I think we need to learn from each other as people to people, while of course we still need to demand accountability toward developed state, toward the polluters, as well as toward the fossil fuel industries.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know. Good to know that although COP29 was disappointing, that we've got some good concrete things to look forward to and work towards at COP30.
Yes, exactly. I think we need to work together as Franciscans in collaborations with other organizations, like-minded people with different movements. I think we need to work together, and we do believe that we need to provide hopes for the people. Yeah. We are people of hope. As human rights organization, as labor organization, that is our role as well, to provide hope for the people. So our journey toward COP30 is journey of struggle, but also journey of hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.